Nepal, Mr. Samudamyana. Dr. Jit Joshi is the Vice President of this university. Dr. Ambika Adhikari, Mr. Prahlad Kesi is the NRNA President, representatives of different organizations, distinguished guests and friends. This is a great honor and pleasure for me to be able to participate in this trade and investment promotion activities that has been initiated jointly by Nepal Chamber of Commerce, Ministry of Industry, Friends of Nepal, and the community of Los Angeles in the Los Angeles area, as well as to be able to participate in this black tie event this evening. This is my second time to participate in the black tie event. Out of 3, I was able to participate in 2, and this is the second time I was able to come to this hall to speak a few words about Nepal-US relationship and Nepal-US trade and investment with the courtesy of Dr. Jit Joshi. I think he reminds me saying that this video is still being run in the local television occasionally, I guess. Thank you so much for your gracious availability of this place and cooperation. I would like to touch upon 2 things basically today, because we have the trade and investment delegation coming from Nepal. So I would like to touch upon the trade and investment relationship between Nepal and the United States, and what are some of the things that has been done over the last 2 years to improve the relationship between our 2 countries. Talking about trade and investment between Nepal and US, we do trade of about 125 million US dollar. And I think if we talk about 2 years ago, our export to the United States is slightly more than the import from the United States. But if we see the statistics on 2010, I think we have a deficit with the United States. So this is something to be worried about in the future, how we can increase our exports from Nepal to the United States. Now talking about the investment of US in Nepal, approximately $225 million worth of investment has been invested in Nepal. There are about 11,000 Nepalese. They have received the employment out of those 225 million US dollar. And if we talk about number of projects, it's approximately 1,400. I think it's very surprising to see smaller projects being invested in Nepal. As for example, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken is one of them. Pizza Hut is another one of them. And then there are a number of restaurants run by the Americans in Nepal. I think they are all counted individually, and the employment generated by the joint ventures are also counted individually. So we need to attract bigger investment in Nepal, no doubt about that, but that's what it is today. Now if we say what are some of the export items to the United States, what are some of the export items that has been imported in Nepal from the United States, I think there are a few things that has been identified as some of the major exports from Nepal to the United States. One is definitely, as of now, the woolen carpet. If we say in Nepali rupees, it's about, I think, 6 billion. 6 billion rupees worth of Nepali carpets are exported from Nepal to US. And number 2 is still garments. I think I was really surprised to see the numbers. It has gone down significantly, but still number 2 is the ready-made garments from Nepal to US. But if I see the statistics from from 2009, it's about 14 million US dollar. But if I talk with some of the friends over here, probably it has doubled over the last 2 years. I think I'm surprised. I'm pleased to see those numbers. If it has doubled, I think probably that's a good sign. And then probably we can tell our people in Nepal, the garment industry, that this area is doing good, but probably not on the traditional garment, or something else, maybe fashion design or fashion garments or things like that. And there are other things like silver jewelry, paper and paper products, handicrafts, and there are a number of other things which are exported in a smaller amount. So, but the overall total is about $55 million exports to Nepal, from Nepal to US. Now, as I said, the investment is basically in some of the areas like manufacturing, restaurant business, service sector, IT, hydropower. I think these are some of the areas where US has exported US has invested in Nepal. What are some of the potentials that has been identified by Nepal? I think some of the potential areas that can strengthen the relationship between Nepal and US in the area of trade and investment, specifically trade, in addition to the existing items, meaning woolen carpets, woolen goods, pashmina, handicrafts, silver jewelry, and there are a few things that has been identified by the government of Nepal through rigorous studies. As for example, these are medicinal herbs that could be cultivation as well as exports, and essential oil, cardamom, tea, coffee, engineering services, wool products, and the products where the GSP facilities are provided by the United States to Nepal. When we are talking about GSP facilities provided by the United States to Nepal, there are 4,800 items that has been listed, and they can enter duty-free to the United States. So one of the focus for the next TIFA meeting is on GSP products. US is ready to provide any training program, any technical assistance in identifying some of the GSP products, GSP commodities that can be exported from Nepal to US, and see how it can grow in the future. They don't want to talk about many items, but they would like to focus on few identified items, but identified by the Nepalese business community. So I think that has been one of the agenda for the September TIFA dialogue and discussion. The second one is definitely, I think US is ready to help Nepal in the area of investment promotion. I think they have certain ideas. They have already floated those ideas with the embassy. We have communicated to the Ministry of Commerce. The reason is that Ministry of Commerce is the focal point for TIFA delegation to Nepal. I think they are the representative also in the TIFA Council. So, and then third one is definitely getting the technical assistance from the United States to Nepal. So I think these are the three areas they would like to discuss in the September meeting. This is tentative, but they would like to see the meeting being more productive in the future. So anything that can be done in the council meeting in Nepal in September, I think we need to do the homework, we need to talk, and then we need to communicate through the embassy with US Trade Representative Office so that the outcome will be more productive and better. Now the second thing I would like to talk is Nepal-US relationship over the last few years. In my opinion, I think we probably never had the stronger relationship between Nepal and the United States before. The reason is that the trade and investment, this is for the first time, trade and investment framework agreement has been done. Now it's up to us how we can dialogue, how we can discuss, what kind of benefits we can take out of this TIFA Council, because the reason is that the whole idea of TIFA is to expand the trade between the two countries, promote investment, and provide some technical assistance to Nepal in the areas where Nepal is weak. They have already started working on the technical assistance also. This is where I think probably, I think as Sambuji was mentioning, about 60% of the people who are present today probably are the businessmen in the Los Angeles. So you should also provide some inputs to the Chamber of Commerce, to the embassy, what can be done, and how we can make this TIFA Council, the TIFA dialogue, more productive in the future. So I think this is one of the responsibility. Probably I would like to give it to you as the Nepalese community from the embassy side and from the government of Nepal. The second is the Millennium Challenge Corporation has opened up the door for the assistance in Nepal. Until last year, we used to get assistance, aid from US to Nepal only through USAID, because this is a new window, Millennium Challenge Corporation, but they will start with a program called Threshold. This is basically improving the policy and preparing for the bigger projects for the future. So this is where the Nepalese community also can contribute in helping how we can move from Threshold to the Compact program. Once we enter into the Compact program, probably we can get $300 million, $400 million for bigger projects. It could be hydro, it could be road project, it could be telecommunication or things like that. The third one is the resumption of the Peace Corps program. The Peace Corps program was suspended in 2004. Now it has been resumed. I think many of you are the American citizens. If your children, they would like to go as a Peace Corps volunteer in Nepal, this will be a good opportunity. From next year onwards, the number will definitely increase. This year, the Peace Corps program will send only 20 volunteers, 10 in health, 10 in agricultural sector. But from next year onwards, definitely I think there will be more opportunities for even for the people who are of Nepalese origin, but American citizen definitely to go to Nepal and serve in their own country. So I think that will be a great opportunity. Number of Nepali American students, they would like to go in the Peace Corps program. I think they have come to us, they have come to the embassy, how they can work on it, how they can be selected in Nepal. But by the way, I think Nepal is one of the very popular countries, so it's highly competitive. There are so many applicants to go to Nepal, whether that's in the Peace Corps program or in the Fulbright program. So it's highly competitive, but I'm sure, I think your children will be competitive and they will be able to go and serve in Nepal in the Peace Corps program. Similarly, I think there are a number of other issues. As for example, Nepal Congressional Caucus has been established. I would like to encourage you to write to your congressman to become the member of Nepal Caucus as soon as possible, basically. Because I think day before yesterday, Tara Nirolaji from New York, he called me, and then he had a meeting with one of his congressmen from Jackson Heights, New York. I met him day before yesterday. I talked about some of the things that we need to do about Nepal. So he immediately said he will become the member of Nepal Caucus. Not only that, and then I told him about he is the member of Ways and Means Committee. So he said whatever he can do in the House of Representatives, whether that's in the area of foreign aid, American assistance to Nepal, or in the area of trade, he's ready to help. So I think this is how we can build up the relationship between Nepal and the US. So your constituency congressman, if you write to them, you talk to them, you can send them and then request them to become the member of Nepal Caucus. In addition to that, I think the assistance going from the USAID to Nepal has also increased very significantly. 2012, it has been about $84 million. That has increased from 74 million a year before. And then in 2009, it was only $46 million. So I think there are a number of things that is being done. But now, to sustain all of those things, it's up to you. It's up to the Nepalese community. I think if you are very vibrant, then definitely I think all of these things probably will be more productive in the future. And then all the Nepalese staying here, they are the honorary goodwill ambassador. I think Ambikaji wrote a paper on behalf of NRN America. I think what he says is that the government of Nepal should also use the NRN community for the diplomatic purposes, for diplomacy. So that's what we are also trying to do and see how we can make use of Nepalese community to strengthen the relationship between Nepal and the US. Finally, next week we are also having a number of programs in Washington DC. As for example, May 4, we are doing the trade and investment promotion as well as tourism promotion. We are expecting 2,500 Americans to visit this program in Washington DC. May 6, we are doing Embassy of Nepal doing a cultural program in the American University. We are expecting about 400 people, Americans, not Nepalese, to participate in that program. We are also participating in the Asia Heritage Festival in Capitol Hill next month. And a big delegation again from FNCCI is coming on May 4th for 1 week in Washington DC, and probably they will also go to Boston and New York, but mainly in Washington DC again to do the promotion activities of Nepal. So a number of activities are being done. So thank you so much for participating and helping the Nepalese government as well as the Chamber of Commerce and commercial activities in the United States. Thank you so much.